If you see what government has done in the last 2.5 years, it does not make sense for people to hold on to dollar this time. And some people are complaining, oh, yeah, because you have stored your value in dollars, but now the thing is crashing. Don't also forget that it's not just what is happening locally. Even internationally, the dollar itself is weakening by the day, again, due to the American debt profile itself, which backs the dollar. But more importantly for us is to see that what is going to happen is the law of demand and supply is what determines rate of exchange. And if there are so much that people are asking for in terms of importation, then of course there will be pressure on the dollar.
This is SOUQ Business Landscape.
Now, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Olayemi Cardoso, says Nigeria's net foreign exchange reserve rose to $34.80 billion at the end of 2025. Now, the figure marks a 772% increase from the $3.99 billion recorded at the end of 2023, signaling strong external buffers. Now, in a statement issued on Monday, the Apex Bank attributed the surge to improved foreign inflows and tighter monetary management. Officials say the growth reflects deliberate efforts to stabilize the currency and rebuild investor confidence. The CBN added that gains in both gross and net reserves point to stronger external sector fundamentals and sustained policy reforms, reinforcing resilience and global economic uncertainty. Excuse me. We still have Dr. Idahosa Osamanse joining us virtually. So glad to have you, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure to be here.
All right. Now, looking at this whole thing, we are on the right track, I must say. We are on the right track. We're doing pretty well. What are your projections for the rest of the year?
Well, I think the economic teams are doing a very good job that even the most or the worst of your critic cannot gainsay what achievements that have been made in this particular regime. Recently, I heard the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, that proper letter writer, saying that the Naira stability is a plus for this regime. And I think that is the extent to which the CBN governor has actually managed the affairs of Nigerian CBN in the last 2.5 years. They've done an incredible job trying to stabilize the Naira. And of course, the coordination between the monetary policy and the fiscal policy are yielding, and they are paying great results. And I think that's where we are at the moment. From a paltry 3.4 billion in reserve to 34, that's a significant increase. And of course, a lot is happening. We are growing better, we are becoming better. And I'm hopeful that if this trend continues, by the end of this administration, Nigeria will be very buoyant. And then, of course, they can now be empowered and enabled to actually assess the kind of support from development banks that we jumpstart the economy. So for me, it's a good sign that the economy is being managed very well, and it cannot be done better. And I think we just need to commend the people who are doing it. Even the men at the National Assembly the other day gave a standing ovation to the CBN governor because of the good job that he has done, ensuring that CBN was moved away from the realm of politics to stay within where they can actually focus on monetary policy, which of course Cardoso promised Nigeria that CBN will return to its regulatory role. And I think that's paying off, and Nigerians are seeing the dividends.
Lumide rightly said this is a good trend and we're excited to see it. But could the falling oil prices, reverse this trend? If yes, to what extent?
I don't think it will, because when you look at what is happening right now, especially if you look at the figures with respect to trade, you find that we are doing so much outside of what oil is giving to us. There's a whole lot of that is happening in Nigeria that for the first time, after a very long time, Nigeria is having trade surplus. And of course, and the gap is widening on a daily basis. That's showing to you that it's not just the oil revenue that is sustaining Nigeria. There's a whole lot that is going on in other manufacturing sector, and Nigerians are doing a lot of export, because our export is exceeding our import. So yes, the fact that oil volatility is there. It's not something that we can wish away. But if we continue with the trend and the kind of support that the government is giving to investors and trying to make the environment friendly for investment and the rest of it, you see that, of course, the reserve will continue to grow, because the more things you sell outside, the more, of course, foreign exchange that you will earn. And then, of course, if the policy at home are also doing well, you also see that, of course, remittances are coming. And so as the FS market stabilizes, trade will continue to happen. And I think that is my own perspective. But don't also forget that even in the last 2 days, with the crisis in the Middle East, that there's also a spike somehow in the prices of oil. So we cannot always look at the other side. We must also be projecting of the better things that will come, depending on how the geopolitics plays out.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Now, also, if you remember, we also discussed it on this table where Dangote and even Otedola confirmed that the dollar should go below 1,000 Naira. Do you see that happening very, very soon? If you also look at the projections that CBN also made as to regards to elections coming, very soon, and we know what goes on during elections. It becomes dollar for dollar, pound for pound. Do you see the Naira, getting any shocks?
Well, I don't think so, because if you see what government has done in the last 2.5 years, it does not make sense for people to hold on to dollar this time. Yeah, because it's like a lot of people have lost some money. And some people are complaining, oh, yeah, because you have stored your value in dollars, but now the thing is crashing. Don't also forget that it's not just what is happening locally. Even internationally, the dollar itself is weakening by the day, again, due to the American debt profile itself, which backs the dollar. But more importantly for us is to see that what is going to happen is the law of demand and supply is what determines rate of exchange. And if there are so much that people are asking for in terms of importation, then of course there'll be pressure on the dollar. But now what we usually import in large quantity that was taking so much of our GDP was a petroleum product. But now that has been reversed, especially with the collaboration that is happening between NNPC now and the Dangote refinery. So now that the hostilities had been laid to rest, which means, of course, that partnership is going to yield further support for the Naira. Because if people are not looking for dollar to do business outside, you will see that it will reduce. And I think one other area that, of course, is also taking some of this dollar is in the area of education and healthcare. And I think that government is also doing a lot to see how we can invest in the healthcare system so that rather people doing traveling abroad for health tourism or going abroad for education tourism, we can stay within our environment and have good quality education, good quality healthcare, and that will reduce pressure on the dollar. And by the law of demand and supply, if supply is much and demand is low, prices will naturally go down. And I think that is what Dangote and Otedola were inferring, that as long as people are not having so much to demand for dollar, then it will naturally go down. That's the route to go: industrialization, produce what you eat and eat what you produce. That will give us a leverage in managing our foreign exchange.